Morgan.
And I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we explore the history, present, and future of New Year's Eve celebrations at Disney parks around the world.
Ooh.
Yes, this is a part 2 of our little series of New Year's Eve celebrations. The first part was kind of an overview of New Year's Eve at the Walt Disney World Resort. We covered a little bit of the history of New Year's Eve traditions there, and we delved into the many ways that you can currently experience New Year's Eve across the resort, both in the theme parks and resorts, and even Disney Springs. And not only did we cover how you could participate in the sprawling in-park celebrations, which can be quite elaborate, but you could also experience them in quieter and more enchanting, interesting ways.
Yeah.
And that was a very fun episode, so we definitely recommend listening to that one first. And if you're joining us right after listening to that, thank you very much. We're going to conclude things here in this episode with a little bit of information about New Year's Eve at Disneyland and other parks around the world.
Yeah, all the Disney parks.
Heck yeah.
Let's see how they do it.
Yeah, I'm honestly fascinated to hear a little bit more about the different ways that other cultures kind of bring in the new year.
Yeah, right. And so this one will also cover the history of Disneyland, New Year's Eve at Disneyland, and see how the other cultures, other parks around the world do it. And it was a fascinating thing to research, I'll say.
Yeah, the fun deep dive.
Because I had no idea.
Right, yeah. These are little known facts here in the States, I would say.
Yeah. Agreed.
Thank you guys for joining us for this episode. We hope that you're as interested in all of this as we are. If you would like to help to support the show so that we can continue making interesting Disney content, then you can do that by subscribing wherever you've listened to the show and by leaving us a review. It helps to boost us up in searchability. And also, it is super, super fun and interesting for us to read the reviews. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope to see you there.
Yeah. We also, if you are thinking about taking a trip, vacation anywhere, at Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, a cruise, please consider letting me be your free-to-you travel agent. When you book yourself a trip online, you're paying for the price of your personal travel agent's commission, whether you use one or not. It's baked into the price. Even if you get a great deal, it's baked into the price. So if you use a free-to-you travel agent, you don't pay anything, and you get all of the benefits of having somebody that can make phone calls for you to the hotel to make requests, to help with dining reservations, to give you tips and tricks, to do deal monitoring. And I give my clients a free gift as a thank you for booking with me. They get either free custom trip t-shirts or free attraction posters from one of my 2 Etsy shops. So it's really a win-win. You're going to pay the amount you're going to pay when you go on a vacation anyway. You might as well get a free gift and help out a small business, which gets you good karma.
Heck yeah.
for doing so. So yeah, please email me. My email is morgan@neverlandnavigation.com, and we can talk about your next trip.
Yes! Ring in the new year by making the most of your money and the most of your next magical adventure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, shall we get into the New Year's Eve of it all?
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh. So let's start off at Disneyland in Anaheim, the OG.
The beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
The original Disney park paved the way for the grand New Year's festivities and all the other parks.
Right.
They hosted their first ever New Year's Eve event on December 31st, 1957.
Wow.
That was the first one. So about a little over 2 years after the park opened.
Interesting.
Yeah, that night they held a gala celebration. Doesn't that sound fancy? Oh my gosh.
Elegant.
Yeah, I want my sparkly dress.
Yes.
That drew about 7,500 guests, which is, a modest crowd by today's standards, but that was a huge success for them back then.
Sure.
To welcome the arrival of 1958.
Oh, wow.
Walt Disney himself was known to attend these early Disneyland New Year's parties.
Yeah.
He would mingle with guests as they enjoyed live music and dancing in the park, and it quickly became an annual tradition.
From what we know about Walt, I could totally see him mingling with the crowd.
This is where he'd want to be. It makes a lot of sense. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was his idea.
Totally.
Well, I don't know that, but
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disneyland would close the park early in the evening and then reopen around 8 for a special New Year's Eve party that would go until after midnight.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is much like what I had said on our last episode about the early years at Magic Kingdom at Disney World. This was a separately ticketed event that featured all of the attractions plus big name entertainment and complimentary party favors.
Woo.
By the 1960s, Disneyland's year-end party was drawing well over 15,000 attendees each December 31st.
Right.
Huge deal for them.
Yeah.
There were multiple stages with swing orchestras, jazz bands, or pop groups spread throughout the park so that every corner, like Tomorrowland and Frontierland, not just Main Street. This is the part I'm so impressed by.
Yeah.
It had its own dance floor and countdown.
Cool. All over. Wow.
All over. Yeah. For example, the 5th annual New Year's Eve party on December 31st, it wasn't the 5th. It wasn't the 5th party. It was the 5th New Year's. But anyway.
Got it.
In 1960, going into 61, attracted about 18,000 celebrants and featured 6 different bands performing around Disneyland.
Cool. Oh my gosh. What an affair.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Admission to all of the rides are included, and it was advertised as many times as desired on every attraction, which was a big deal back then because all of the rides and stuff had their own cost.
Yes.
So this was like an all-you-can-eat buffet, like what we're used to now.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
That must have been so exciting back in the day.
I know. I'm sure it was huge.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to decide what to do then.
Oh, yeah. We have a hard time now
with the parties.
Yeah, with the parties, even when, things are a little bit busier than I'm sure they were here. We have a hard time picking what we want to prioritize, so.
Yeah. Naturally, Disneyland provided guests with hats and noisemakers to ring in the new year.
Fun.
That was all the rage. I mean, it's still a big deal.
Yeah.
When midnight struck, Sleeping Beauty Castle was aglow. Though in those days, fireworks were pretty modest, especially compared to what we're used to now. It was like a short burst and maybe a banner or two. But for people in the late 50s and the 60s, this was still huge.
Yeah. That's all
it's
I
what
need.
you're used to. You know, that's all I need to.
Yeah.
But for them, spending New Year's inside of Walt Disney's Disneyland was quite the enchanting experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They didn't need as much as we do now. We've gotten used to what we're used to, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
These events grew in popularity, and by the late 60s, Disneyland regularly sold out of its New Year's Eve capacity.
Wow.
In 1968, a record 23,000 guests partied at Disneyland until 2 a.m.
Oh, just how Walt would have wanted.
Yeah. The park even advertised the celebration on local TV and radio, promising a wonderful evening of holiday happiness. And this was a different era. Many people would even dress up.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute.
It sounds so cute. I hope... Unfortunately, I can imagine the pain of walking around a park in heels.
Right.
I hope that flats were in it at the time.
Right.
But
please.
Other than that, I like the idea of getting dressed up to go to Disneyland for a New Year's Eve ball or whatever gala.
Just a little tie.
Yeah.
Nice little
lovely.
dress.
In Disneyland, it's a little cooler too. In California, like a little bit more manageable.
Yeah.
So
sounds enjoyable.
Yeah, it sounds nice. Disneyland continued the tradition of the ticketed New Year's Eve party all the way into the early 1980s. Longtime fans recall the park closing at 6 or 7 p.m. on December 31st and then reopening at 8 for partygoers who had bought the special ticket.
Right.
In 1980 and 1981, for example, this was still the procedure. Advertisements from those years show that Disneyland's New Year's Eve events featured contemporary pop acts. The entertainment lineup often had multiple options. In 1981, there were comedy duos on one stage and the famous vocal group, the Manhattan Transfer, performing on another, plus a midnight spectacular fireworks show at the castle.
Comedy duos, huh?
Interesting, right?
Right.
Tickets were sold through Ticketron outlets, which is pretty old school.
Okay.
Yeah, and Disney kept the crowd levels. They kept the crowd levels lower than they did during the day, kind of like they do with parties now.
Yeah.
So not uncomfortably packed, but still lively.
Yeah, that's important.
People who experienced those early 1980s events often say they were far more manageable than today's scenario. No kidding.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could dance in the open air without being squished and even hop on some rides with minimal wait time between celebrating. By 1982 to 83, however, Disneyland quietly did away with the separate hard ticket New Year's Eve party and began treating December 31st as a regular operating day open to all, likely due to immense demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess they were like, why would I turn away thousands of people that are upset? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that. People banging on the gates.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure that the people that were coming were happy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they could go somewhere else, I guess, if they were coming out from out of town.
Right.
I don't know. I was trying to speculate.
No, I get it. They were all probably like
view.
crowded up on the promenade, and they probably didn't love that.
Right.
So yeah, I get it.
From that point on, Disneyland has essentially thrown a giant public New Year's Eve bash, similar to how Walt Disney World does. And like Walt Disney World, this means crowds, crowds, crowds.
Yeah.
Today, Disneyland Park on New Year's Eve is typically jam-packed with locals and tourists. The park will reach capacity at various points by afternoon on the 31st. Disneyland now offers a double dose of New Year's fireworks, which this is so smart. Listen to this. So they do an early showing of New Year's Eve fireworks at 9 p.m. and then the big one at midnight.
That is smart.
The 9 p.m. and here's how they make it like sound legit.
Okay.
The 9 p.m. show is playfully timed to coincide with the midnight on the East Coast. So it's billed as a celebration of the New Year in New York, although they could do New Year in Walt Disney World, but
sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
This allows families with young kids to enjoy the countdown and fireworks without keeping the little ones up until midnight.
That is so smart.
Genius.
Wow.
Genius.
Times Square, synced up situation.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. And as a parent, that's so awesome.
I know. That is really thank you for looking out for
thank
that.
Thank you. I really wanted us all to be asleep by midnight. Then, of course, they also have the Midnight Fireworks Spectacular, and in recent years, Disneyland has used a show called Fantasy in the Sky, just like Magic Kingdom does, which is a throwback name, featuring classic Disney music and a big countdown finale. Fireworks launch above Sleeping Beauty's castle and also from multiple perimeter sites around the park, creating a visual panorama.
Cool.
One highlight at Disney is the use of It's a Small World Mall as a secondary viewing spot.
Cool.
They project huge digital countdown on the facade of the It's a Small World ride, and that area becomes like a mini party hub, which is it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it makes sense because of the clock theme that they got going on. Totally. Of course.
And it's like right in front of there is a big open space.
Right.
So in addition to, I lost my spot there. In recent years, even Disney California Adventure Park has gotten in on the fun. Of course, Disney California Adventure has thrown its own New Year's Eve bash with DJs and a countdown with fountains and fireworks effects on the World of Color Lagoon. Oh, got it. Okay. Love that.
Cool.
Because Disney California Adventure serves alcohol, where Disneyland Park does not, they do a little now. They started doing a little in 2019.
They've kind of been slowly rolling it out.
Right. But Disney California Adventure has for a while, I believe.
Right.
Because they do that, a lot of people think of Disney California Adventure as the more grown-up adult vibe, because you can go get a cocktail and toast the New Year's, where that is not as possible or used to be possible at all in regular Disneyland.
Yeah.
So it's again, I think kind of nice to have two different locations with a little bit of a different vibe.
Totally. More options, the better.
Yeah. From a historical perspective, Disneyland has had some unique New Year's moments. One fun fact is during the early 1990s, Disneyland sometimes featured a special New Year's Eve parade of floats that were reused from other events to enhance the
Oh,
entertainment. It's like our freaking dream come
how
true. Yeah.
fun.
Like brought back for one night.
Yeah, one night only.
Yeah.
Love
I
that.
loved that so much that I put that in as that fun fact because I think it just makes me so happy to even know that
Little
exists.
throwback. I
Yeah.
love it.
And a rather heartwarming tradition in more recent years is that Disneyland often brings out many costume characters, Minnie, Mickey, Goofy, all in festive attire to mingle and dance with guests just
Aw,
before midnight. So like, yeah, they're like hanging out, they're dancing.
so cute.
Um,
No line required.
Right. Also worth noting is how Disneyland deals with the enormous guest demand because Southern Californians flock to the parks on the holidays. Disneyland sometimes reaches capacity. They have been known to direct late arriving crowds to Disney California Adventure or vice versa so that they can balance the attendance.
Okay.
They're trying to accommodate everybody.
They're like, split it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Disneyland isn't alone in having a bunch of New Year's Eve celebrations, though, because all the international parks kind of get in on the New Year's fun, including Tokyo Disney Resort. So if you travel across the Pacific to Japan, you'll find that Tokyo Disney Resort has put its own twist on New Year's festivities that's influenced more by Japanese culture's reverence for the New Year holiday, because in Japan, New Year is the biggest holiday of the year, and it's traditionally a time that families gather to shrines at midnight. And because of this, Tokyo Disneyland didn't immediately jump into the whole New Year's Eve thing when it opened in 1983, but then by the 90s, the Japanese appetite for Disney magic could not be ignored. So the resort began to host an exclusive New Year's Eve that was unlike any of the other Disney parks in that it was an all-night celebration that ran from the late evening of December 31st through the morning of January 1st.
Oh my God.
All-night party?
I would never make it,
Nope.
first of all. But how freaking cool is that?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool, unique
I wonder if
setup.
you can leave at like 2 and go to your hotel and take a nap for 2 hours and come back.
Yeah, they'll stamp your hand, I'm sure. Sounds nice. For many years, Tokyo Disney Resort, which includes Tokyo Disneyland, and then later on they added Disney Sea, held a special New Year's Eve countdown that was by invitation or lottery only. So you couldn't just buy a ticket. There was so much demand that they issued this limited number of countdown tickets with a lottery system for annual pass holders or through corporate sponsors. So if you were lucky enough, you could either you could enter the park around 8 o'clock on December 31st and then stay all the way until 7 a.m. on January 1st, partying all night at Disneyland or Disney Sea. Imagine spending the whole night in the park, riding Space Mountain at 3 a.m., and then watching the sunrise with Mickey. Oh, what a fun night.
I know.
It was truly unique, and it played into Japan's tradition of firsts. The first ride of the year, the first dawn of the year, and those have special significance in the Japanese culture. So that is really, really fun.
Right. Big for them. That's good.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that.
Incorporate the culture. Love that.
Yeah.
During these overnight events, which Tokyo ran from early 90s up until 2019, the parks put on a grand midnight countdown show. Tokyo Disneyland had a recurring countdown parade that changed themes annually.
Amazing.
Love it. Classic characters would don New Year's costumes and ride festive floats. Some years the theme celebrated Mickey's birthday or a park anniversary alongside the New Year, a little 2-for-1 special. At 11:59 p.m., the parade would pause and all eyes turned to the iconic Cinderella Castle, and a dramatic countdown began, often with an orchestrated melody that was building excitement. And at the stroke of midnight, the sky above the park exploded in a spectacular fireworks show. How magical. Tokyo Disneyland is not known for nightly fireworks because they usually do like a really modest fireworks situation because of local noise considerations, which is, but for New Year's Eve, they go all out, lighting up not only the park, but also the entire surrounding area.
That's awesome.
Must be so special for them. Simultaneously, over at Tokyo Disney Sea, an equally dazzling fireworks and water show welcomes the new year with the Mediterranean Harbor Lagoon featuring fountain and fire effects. How fun. I'm assuming the fire being from the volcano situation.
I think so, yeah.
How
I'd
cool.
have to imagine. That's awesome.
Amazing. Sad they don't do it anymore, but really cool.
Yeah.
What's really charming is what happened after midnight, though, because Tokyo Disney would keep entertaining guests through the wee hours. They often have special show performance at 1 or 2 a.m., like a late night staging of Big Band Beat at Disney Sea or character greeting at, that's right, 4 o'clock a.m. Many would take cat naps on benches.
Oh, so
or
we could just
simply
do that.
keep riding attractions. Oh my gosh. Especially because there's no lines at 5 a.m. because only the hardcores would still be going. Then, as dawn approached on January 1st, the resort acknowledged a beautiful Japanese custom, the first sunrise of the year. This is like choking me up.
I know.
They sometimes allowed guests in certain areas where you could watch the sunrise around 6:50 a.m., perhaps near the castle or Disney Sea's Mount Prometheus volcano, which had just finished spitting some fire, and Disney characters would come out in traditional kimono attire to greet the first morning of the new year. It's a scene that you could only find in Japan, with Mickey and Minnie in kimono, bowing and saying Happy New Year in Japanese as the sun peeks out over the horizon and a new year begins. Oh my god.
It sounds so amazing.
Enchanting.
Over the top, and I love the idea of the first sunrise.
I know, that's so cute. We should do that here.
Yeah.
I love that. Unfortunately, the treasured events have, for the time being, become part of history because after 2019, Tokyo Disney Resort ceased its New Year's Eve overnight party, initially due to the COVID-19 pandemic and continuing in subsequent years as a policy change. Very sad.
Yeah.
As of the mid-2020s, Tokyo Disney does not have any special events whatsoever on December 31st. In fact, the parks now close at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock that night, like a normal winter evening. It's
so weird.
Yeah.
To go from, like, the biggest thing of all the different parks to, we're done, we're going to close at 6.
I know. It's
I don't get that.
What a 180. My gosh.
Yeah.
It is quite the reversal. Many fans definitely hope that the countdown extravaganzas will return someday, as you can imagine. The resort has shifted its focus from New Year's Eve to New Year's Day instead. So from January 1st through about a week or so, Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea hold a celebration of the Japanese New Year that includes beautiful decorations at the park entrances, traditional music, and a daily New Year's greeting parade that features Mickey and friends in elaborate traditional costumes riding on floats, and also often waving from a roving Shinto-style shrine float. So bringing in that visiting shrines tradition into the parks, which is very unique to the Japanese parks. They also sell limited New Year's merchandise and serve special
Osechi, maybe?
Osechi? Sorry, we're not very familiar.
We're not 100% sure.
Yeah, but they serve those cultural dishes that are unique to the Japan tradition. So if you visit Tokyo Disney in early January, you feel like you're part of the New Year holiday, not just via a midnight party. So this is a big shift. They really focus on the daytime celebration.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
So it's not like it's completely gone. It's just not a party anymore.
Yeah, rescheduled to the following day.
Yeah.
It's interesting to note that Tokyo's decision to end the overnight countdown was partly due to a lack of interest and logistical issues. This is fascinating to me.
Yes, I hate that they said this because we get this stuff in Disney World sometimes too, where they're like, they'll say something and then you'll look at it and you'll be like, do you think that makes any sense?
Yeah.
Like, you were sold out.
I know. I don't really understand, but
lack of interest, you sold out.
I get the COVID part.
Got that.
But then after that, it's a little confusing.
I just tell us the truth. You don't feel like doing it anymore.
Or it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Or
you don't have enough cast members
that
are willing to work that night. I would get all of that. But don't say it's lack of interest when you've been sold out every single year.
Don't put this on me.
Yeah, don't put this on me. I went.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is surprising though. It was always sold out, but anyway, Tokyo Disney Resort's New Year's chapter is a fascinating one because there were spectacular all-night celebrations with exclusive parades and fireworks to the current quiet approach, which focuses more on cultural charm. It showcases how Disney blends the local customs, offering an overnight option for countries where many do stay up all night for shrine visits, and then refocusing on a daylight tradition when needed. So, whether those overnight parties return or not, those who experience them will never forget dancing through the night at Tokyo Disneyland while watching the fireworks burst at midnight in the land of the rising sun. What a unique way to celebrate.
It sounds like they really used to do it right, like
right?
in a mind-blowing, epic way that would make me want to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for whatever reason, they stopped doing it. That's too bad.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on to another international park?
Yes, let's book the plane ticket.
Okay. Let's go to Paris.
Ooh, I'm down.
All right. Over in Europe, Disneyland Paris has made a name for itself with vibrant New Year's Eve celebrations that mix Disney magic with a bit of continental flair. The resort, comprising of Disneyland Park and Walt Disney Studios Park, tends to put the spotlight on the Disneyland Park for December 31st.
Sure.
In recent years, the resort has alternated between hosting a special ticketed event New Year's Eve party or keeping the park open for all guests with no extra ticket. So they're going back and forth like they don't know what to do.
I hope they figure it out.
Yeah. For example, as the pandemic eased on December 31st, 2022, Disneyland Paris held a separately ticketed soiree. Guests paid to attend the after-hours party with exclusive entertainment, but the next year the park opted to let anyone with a regular day ticket stay for the festivities, making it an inclusive experience.
Yeah.
This flexibility likely reflects Disneyland Paris's audiences, a huge mix of locals from Paris and international tourists on holiday, all of whom are eager to celebrate, and so I guess they don't know what to do.
They're like, what do we do? How?
We're getting in trouble either way.
Right.
So what is a Parisian Disney New Year's Eve like?
No idea.
It's freezing.
Oh, yeah.
Late December in Paris is usually near freezing.
Oh.
Guests bundle up in coats and scarves, also often Disney themed though, of course. And then they clutch cups of hot mulled wine or hot cocoa, which is something that they sell at the outdoor carts, and I would be buying one every 5 minutes.
Yep. Fill me up.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
But the cold doesn't dampen spirits, especially when the entertainment heats up. Disneyland Paris puts on a spectacular fireworks show at midnight that rivals any of the other Disney parks.
Oh.
The French are renowned for their pyrotechnic artistry. Bastille Day fireworks in Paris are absolutely legendary.
Right.
And Disneyland Paris lives up to that reputation.
Cool.
Recent New Year's shows not only feature booming fireworks over Sleeping Beauty Castle, but also incorporate high-tech projection mapping on the castle's walls, lasers that slice through the night, and often original soundtrack that blends in Disney songs with celebratory themes.
Fun.
In 2022, Disneyland Paris wowed fans by including the original Wishes theme song in their midnight show, which was a nostalgic nod to the beloved fireworks show from the 2000s.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
All your wishes.
And I bet that they didn't know it was coming, which
I know.
makes me so happy. I love moments like that.
Oh, that's so
cool. Seeing and hearing Starlight Starbright echo as fireworks illuminate the castle felt like a warm hug of Disney nostalgia to start off the year for many fans.
Heck yeah, that's how you do it right.
Yeah. Before the fireworks, Disneyland Paris typically rolls out a lineup of special entertainment on New Year's Eve. One highlight is an exclusive parade that only runs that night. For example, in 2022, they had Ready for the Night parade at 8:30, featuring Mickey, Minnie, and friends decked out in shimmering costumes. I love these costumes.
Oh.
Alongside rare characters and performers dancing with lights.
Cool.
Love it. Those are our favorite.
Heck yeah.
Since that coincided with the park's 30th anniversary celebration, the floats and characters had a double theme of anniversary meets New Year.
Okay.
Additionally, throughout the evening, there were multiple stage shows and musical performances in Disneyland Paris. Several lands host unique parties.
Nice.
Yeah, you might find a live band playing Disney songs with a swing or pop twist in Frontierland, or a royal ball with Disney princesses and princes waltzing with guests in Fantasyland.
Cute.
In 2022, they ran a New Year's Eve royal ball where guests could join Cinderella, Aurora, and other royals in a grand dance. A dream come true for many little ones and some grown-ups. I'd like to do it.
Yeah, sounds cute.
Simultaneously, Discoveryland might host more of a modern DJ dance party.
Cool.
And around Central Plaza, which is the hub, what they call the hub, characters like Goofy or Chippendale might appear and dance along with the crowd to upbeat tunes.
Cute.
This is an all-ages, multi-genre celebration, very much keeping up with Disneyland's Paris' style of blending elegant shows with fun, casual merrymaking.
Sounds pretty merry to me.
Yeah, it sounds nice. Like they're doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
One can't forget the dining aspect, though, given that it's French. Many guests opt for special New Year's Eve dinners at the park's restaurants.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, they're like prefix big deal restaurants.
Okay.
Disneyland Paris is known for its table service restaurants offering multi-course holiday menus on December 31st. For those who stay late, the park often has snack carts with celebratory treats like macarons or a special year-branded eclair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, champagne flows freely. It is France.
Yeah.
Unlike Disneyland in California, alcohol is available at Disneyland Paris, like everywhere.
Sure.
And so at midnight, many guests hold fluted glass of bubbly as they count down in French and share kisses on both cheeks as per French custom.
Oh, yes.
Sounds adorable.
It does. It sounds really cute.
But freezing. I'll probably never make it to that one.
I'm telling you, I don't know if I could make it. That sounds really tough.
Yeah.
Like bundled up all
You
night.
don't know how many jackets I'd need.
I know. We would be...
because to be outside for all those hours.
I know. We'd be walking like penguins and Mary Poppins.
We would.
Be all bundled up. Yeah. Although I will say it does sound charming, and their park is like gorgeous over there.
So pretty.
Yeah. Another pretty park though is Hong Kong Disneyland. It's a newer park. Hong Kong Disneyland's approach to New Year's Eve was fairly low key. Hong Kong as a city is famous for its Victoria Harbour fireworks on New Year's Eve, so many locals would traditionally go to the harbour or attend private events. In its first decade after opening in 2005, Hong Kong Disneyland often closed before midnight on New Year's Eve, sometimes around 8 or 9, and didn't even attempt to compete with the city's big countdown.
Well, that makes sense.
I know, yeah. They got stuff to do. It's fine. The park might have a tiny fireworks enhancement at the end of its regular nightly show and some New Year's Eve decorations, but that was about it. So guests wanted a true countdown, but were often let down, and they would be left to catch the public fireworks downtown. So no fireworks at Disneyland in Hong Kong. However, things changed in recent years, especially after the park expanded and unveiled a new centerpiece called the Castle of Magical Dreams, which was an updated, larger version of their castle that was completed in 2020, and it is stunning, featuring different styles of architecture from all over the world. Hong Kong Disneyland has started to carve out its own New Year's Eve tradition to the delight of Disney fans in the region. In fact, 2023 marked a milestone. Hong Kong Disneyland held its first ever in-park New Year's Eve countdown party on December 31st, 2023, welcoming 2024 with style.
That was so recently.
Yeah,
so
I know.
they've only done this a couple of years.
Yeah, check out Hong Kong entering the New Year's Eve game. For the first time in their history, the park stayed open past midnight until about 12:30 a.m., getting wild, and treated guests to a full countdown show at the castle, which was a big deal because just imagine a park that normally winds down early suddenly going full throttle at midnight. Now, they have nothing on Japan.
Nothing
the
on
history
Japan.
of Japan, that
Yeah.
is, but still, good for them.
Right. Japan staying open until 7 a.m. is, I just can't even imagine.
I know, that's wild. What did this inaugural celebration entail, you may wonder? Leading up to midnight, the park hosted multiple dance parties. Now, dance parties is how a Disney park really, it's New Year. If
Yeah.
there's a ton of dance parties.
Right.
In Adventureland, a live band would play upbeat tunes, and Tomorrowland turned into an outdoor club with a DJ for the night, and there were character meet and greets with Mickey and Minnie, just in sparkly New Year's outfits. Gotta love it.
I do love it.
I know you do. At 11:15, a special countdown moment stage show started in front of the Castle of Magical Dreams, where Mickey, Minnie, and friends took the stage dressed in their glamorous attire, Minnie in a shimmering dress and Mickey in a dapper suit, and performed a high-energy show with dancers celebrating the year's memories. So cute. As the clock neared midnight, everyone joined in a bilingual countdown because Hong Kong is bilingual English Cantonese, so both languages boomed across the speakers. And then in the final 10 seconds, the castle lit up with projection numbers 10, 9, 8, and when it hit 0, the new year arrived with a bang of firework, pyrotechnic, and confetti above the castle.
Oh, confetti.
I know, they're like mixing it up over there.
Wow.
Fun. Hong Kong Disneyland's relatively small size meant that essentially everyone in the park could turn toward the castle and feel immersed in that moment. We cannot even comprehend what that must feel like.
No idea what you're talking about.
Nope. Good for you guys. For a park that had never...
Hey, look, there's the castle.
Oh, I can't even see it. Yeah. For a park that has never done this before, it was truly a magical experience for guests and cast members alike, especially now that Hong Kong Disneyland was kind of growing up and entering the New Year's Eve big leagues. Good for you, little guy. We're rooting for you. Hong Kong Disneyland has some unique considerations that shape its festivities. One is that Hong Kong has strict firework regulations and the park is near an airport's flight path. Oh. So they have noise ordinances. So Hong Kong Disneyland's nightly fireworks, which is now called Momentous, are not as massive as Florida or Paris. But on New Year's Eve, they get special permission to shoot a more impressive display, which is short but higher impact at midnight. Another factor is that Hong Kong locals celebrate not one, but 2 New Years. The Western one on January 1st, and the Lunar, or Chinese, New Year, which typically falls in late January or February. So, double the New Year, double the fun.
Yeah, I want to celebrate both, too. In Disneyland, they do Lunar New Year, too, and I love that. I hope they start doing that in Disney World.
I know.
I love a celebration.
At least in Epcot, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Go on.
Yeah. Hong Kong Disneyland goes all out for Chinese New Year, with decorations and festivities in the park. By contrast, the Western New Year's was historically secondary.
Sure.
But by creating a new tradition of a New Year's Eve countdown, Hong Kong Disneyland is offering something fresh for local fans and tourists during the holiday week, perhaps even attracting people who otherwise might brave the crowds at the harbor fireworks. Yeah. In 2023's case, the city's big harbor fireworks had only just returned after several years of pandemic cancellations, so Hong Kong Disneyland seized the chance to entice those looking for a different family-friendly countdown venue. The park offered a Disney Premier Access New Year's Eve pass that combined ride fast passes with a guaranteed spot for the fireworks countdown. Sounds like a deal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are signs that Hong Kong Disneyland is leaning into making the New Year's Eve a signature event, which is quite exciting for fans in that region. Now a Disney lover in Hong Kong has the option to celebrate midnight with Mickey without flying to another country. So yeah, that's great that they finally get the opportunity to celebrate there.
Yeah.
Love that for them.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to Shanghai. So another Chinese, China, Disney in China.
Yes.
This one, not as big of a thing, but we'll get into it.
They're new.
They're babies.
They're babies.
Shanghai Disney Resort opened in 2016 as mainland China's first Disney park. It has a cultural landscape of its own to navigate when it comes to year-end celebrations.
Right.
In mainland China, the emphasis is traditionally on the Lunar New Year, which you were just talking about with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Which is in late January or February, and they don't really do much with the Western New Year.
Right.
Moreover, fireworks are heavily regulated in Shanghai for safety and pollution reasons. As a result, Shanghai Disneyland has taken a more restrained approach to New Year's Eve compared to its sister parks.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. To date, Shanghai Disneyland generally does not remain open until midnight on December 31st. Typically, the park closes around 9 or 10, as it would any other normal winter day. That means there's no in-park countdown at midnight, and guests will not be in the park when the clock officially strikes 12. This might sound like a bummer to those hoping to do Disney New Year's in China, but Shanghai has its reasons. The government and park management are conscious about drawing huge crowds at midnight. The city itself used to have a New Year's countdown on the famous Bund waterfront, but after a really tragic overcrowding incident in 2014, those are now gone too.
Got it.
So Shanghai Disney, they're just not going to do that.
Understandable. Totally understandable.
Yeah, we get it. And they're not lying to us about why.
No, that's very,
nice.
Very legit.
Yeah. Shanghai Disney opts for a safer, earlier celebration and encourages guests to perhaps head into the city if they want a true midnight moment, although those are pretty low-key also.
I'm sure, yeah.
However, Shanghai Disneyland does mark the occasion in its own way before closing. On New Year's Eve, the park runs a special nighttime show just before the park closes, usually branded as a New Year's edition of whatever firework projection show is currently playing.
Cute little tag, yeah.
Yeah, for instance, in recent years, the main evening spectacular was Ignite the Dream, which was replaced by Illuminate, a nighttime celebration. Maybe it later. I don't know which came first, but anyway.
Sure.
On December 31st, an enhanced finale called Ignite the New Year,
Ooh.
or Light Up the New Year, is often added. Essentially, they treat the last showing of the night, which is around 8 or 9 p.m., as a fake countdown.
Yeah.
They might project Happy New Year and the year on the castle at the end and include extra firework bursts and a festive musical tag wishing everyone well.
Cute.
Guests cheer and act like it's midnight, even though it's a few hours early.
Yeah.
And by the time it's actual midnight, the park is closed and most people have left. Shanghai winters are also quite cold, so maybe not so bad.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in the first couple years after opening, Shanghai Disney did try staying open late on December 31st and had a form of countdown. In 2016, going into 2017, there was a small countdown projection on the castle at midnight for guests in the Disney hotels or Disney town shopping area that they could see it even though the park wasn't open.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wild.
Cute.
Yeah.
Like you could do that. They could do that at Disney World, project something for people in contemporary, you know?
Right.
That's what I'm imagining. The next year, Shanghai apparently scheduled a midnight fireworks show for New Year's Eve, but they had to cancel it due to an air pollution alert.
Oh, no.
The city's air quality was poor that night, and extra fireworks would have worsened it, so they scrapped the show.
Got it.
That shows you how environmental factors, especially in these other countries, can affect the plans.
Yeah.
So you can see why they don't really want to mess with it.
Yeah.
Some fans in Shanghai do wish for a grander celebration, and it's possible that in the future the demand will grow. Especially, I mean, Shanghai's still growing. It's just a baby, so it's totally possible. But they've got to work with what they've got to work with.
Yeah, they've definitely got their own little set of constraints.
Yeah. So if you're planning to do New Year's in Shanghai, just plan to have your toast in your hotel.
Yeah.
One cute tradition Shanghai Disneyland does have for the Western New Year is a New Year's badge, which is given out on January 1st. Cast members also often hand out dated souvenir sticker or buttons saying Happy New Year and the date in English and Chinese to guests entering. It's a small touch, and people will collect them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's,
yeah, they do something.
They do what they can.
Absolutely. It's kind of interesting to see the range of celebrations from resort to resort.
Yeah, and I really hadn't given consideration to different governments regulating stuff like fireworks, which we have talked about with drones because we have that issue. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I just hadn't thought about it with fireworks. But I get it.
Yeah, Hong Kong especially making sense with their proximity to the major airport. Mm-hmm. That totally adds up.
Yeah.
But Shanghai, which is notorious for the pollution situation going on there, you're right. It's just not something that we think about on a regular basis. But for them, you could see how that's something they really have to care about.
Yes, but I also think that and I don't know, but it seems like since the Disney company created fireworks that would work on the cruise ships that basically turn into fish food,
Yeah.
that they might be able to create something for the future that is not going to cause pollution problems.
Well, if there's anything that New Year's Eve is good for, it is for hoping
Hope.
what will
Yep.
come in the future. And we can certainly hope that Disney will continue to evolve their New Year's traditions in new and exciting ways that hopefully we'll be able to report on as the years go on.
Yeah, when we'll have a new park to report on
Oh
at some
my
point.
gosh. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. It has been an absolute blast celebrating New Year around the world in Disney parks with you guys. We hope you have a fabulous New Year, and we thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us for this episode. If you would like to keep up with us throughout the new year, you can do that by joining us on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Neverland Navco.
Yeah, and you can check out the Etsy store. There's one called Neverland Navigation and one called Yeti Springs. And if you're thinking about taking a trip, don't forget to email me, morgan@neverlandnavigation.com.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're off to toast to a brand new year. So we'll see you
on our next adventure.